All right. Welcome to Tuesday nights, the business of books with Beyond the Book Media. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Our special guest tonight is Miss Renee Whaley.
Yes.
She is our special guest tonight. I didn't want to mess up that last name, and I was still about to do that. So, welcome, Miss Whaley. We do appreciate your time. We'll give everybody a little moment to come over from Clubhouse. We need our cousins to come on over and be a part of the Facebook family. So, we
Okay.
welcome those that have already arrived. Welcome. Hello and welcome. You are on the Beyond the Book Media's Business of Book Facebook live show. Here's where you'll discover new indie authors and gain insight on their writing process, their publishing process. And if you love discovering emerging authors, or you're interested in writing and publishing yourself, or you just desire to support, please like and share this live with your family, with your friends. Tell everybody to come on from Clubhouse. Tell our cousins to come on over here. They may get an extra nugget on this side with the family, the Facebook family. So ask everybody to just come on over. But please like and share this live as we speak to Miss Renee Whaley about her book, A Journey to Financial Fortitude, something we all can appreciate at this moment in time. So we'll jump right in a few moments. We want to give people time to join us. But welcome to all of those that are already here. And if you would, please go to StreamYard.com and allow Facebook access to your comments so that we can see them on this side, so that Miss Whaley can have a moment to answer comments and questions, or respond to comments, I should say, and answer any questions that you may have. This is interactive for the most part. We'll answer a few questions in the beginning, and then we'll get right to it. Okay, let me just put this up here while we wait on people to come on in the room. It's Miss Karen. Is proud of you, Renee. Yes, we are.
Thank you, Karen.
We are proud of Miss Renee tonight. So excited to have you here. I know it's been a long night over on our Clubhouse page, and then coming over here to Facebook, but it's going to be well worth it, I promise.
Yes. Thank you.
Sell all these books, you could just clap up right now. We want to say congratulations. So welcome to all of those that are just now joining us. You are in the Beyond the Book Media's Business of Book Live interactive show, where we interview our indie authors, those that have written and published with Beyond the Book Media, and we just talk to them about their journey in writing and publishing. And if that is you, and you desire to be an indie author, you desire to write, Beyond the Book Media may be the place for you. There is a writing challenge coming up. I thought I'd go ahead and throw that plug in October the 1st through the 3rd. And it's free. And you can join us by going to mapyourbookout.com and join. Miss Renee, did you join us that way as well? Did you go through the challenge and the boot camp or anything like that?
Actually, I didn't. A friend of mine went through it and then referred me.
Okay. So we're gonna get that. We're gonna delve into that, how you did your thing. But just in case you are looking to write, and you know this is your season to write, you've been trying to write that book, you need an accountability group. We are that group at Beyond the Book Media. And tonight you are joining us on our Business of Book Live Facebook page. We're going live on Facebook and YouTube. And here tonight we have Miss Renee Whaley, who's going to talk to us about her book, A Journey to Financial Fortitude. And we're just going to welcome you, give everybody about another minute, and then we'll jump right into it, Miss Renee. Again, thank you for your time. We'll get about 45 minutes in to talk, and then we'll engage our audience, and we'll wrap up after that.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem at all. Hello. We have people joining. Hello, and welcome to the Beyond the Book Media's Facebook Live show, The Business of Books. We are going to be speaking with the fabulous author, Miss Renee Whaley, tonight about her book, A Journey to Financial Fortitude. And here on this live on Tuesdays at 9 p.m., you can engage with our new indie authors and gain insight on their writing and publishing process and the journey that it took for them to get to this place here. And if you love discovering emerging authors, or you're interested in writing or publishing a book yourself, or you know someone that is, or you just desire to support the Beyond the Book Media family and their authors, just please share right now and let your cousins and your family know that we are on and we have an amazing guest tonight. So I want to say again, thank you so much, Miss Renee Whaley, for joining us on Clubhouse with our cousins and being here with the Facebook family. And so we'll jump right into it in the interest of time. Just please tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, as you stated, I'm Renee Whaley. I'm 45 years old. I am happily married to Norman Whaley, and we have two young kings. We have Judah, who is 13, and we have Jonah, who is 8 years old. Um, so that's pretty much, a bit about me in a nutshell. I'm in the IT field as a professional career, and have been so for, gosh, probably about 15, 20 years now.
Okay.
So enjoy doing that work as well.
Okay. And so is this your first book? Let me ask you that. Or is this your second book, your third book, or how does this work?
This is my very first book.
Well, congratulations. So you're in the IT world and you decided, hey, let me write this book. And
Yes.
so that's a big leap. That's a big jump. But hey, you're encouraging someone else that's in whatever industry they're in, but they know they have a book. And so that is an encouragement for them to go on ahead and write the book. So thank you for sharing that. So my second question is, I want you to just tell us about the book. Give us a brief synopsis about what A Journey to Financial Fortitude is about. And just give us something about the book. Tell us about it.
So a journey to financial fortitude is really in the title itself. It's the journey of how I gained financial freedom. I walk you through my background, my childhood, how that upbringing was for me, and how it somehow led me to this point of financial freedom. I cover that, and I also cover the Dave Ramsey 7 baby steps with how I got to this point,
Okay.
the steps that I took to make this happen.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so tell us, give me a little bit more insight. So this says a journey to financial fortitude. So would you say it's something about becoming debt free, or what is it about? Because everybody don't may not understand that. So give us a little bit more if you don't mind.
Yes, when I say financial freedom, my journey to financial freedom, I do mean becoming debt free. And when I say debt free, I mean totally debt free. Some people, they say they're debt free, and it's okay, but they still may have a mortgage. But I don't have a mortgage. We've paid that off. I talk about how I paid off $75,000 worth of debt before I even paid my mortgage off. And then I talk about how I attended college as well, debt free.
Wow. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about, Miss Whaley. You have to add some numbers to things sometimes. Because when you say, hey, I paid off $75,000 worth of debt, you capture people's attention,
Right.
because so many people are looking for ways in which they can become truly debt free. And when we say debt free, we mean oh no man, nothing but love, right? And
Right.
so when you say that, when you attach a number to it, sometimes it helps people to really get an idea of what it is that you're speaking of. And
Mhm.
from what I read, you did that $75,000. You decrease your debt by $75,000 in 3 years, to my understanding. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. In 3 years.
Oh, wow. Yes. Yes. And so all of you that are listening right now, this is a book that you may want to go ahead on and pick up so you can learn those steps. She said she used Dave Ramsey, but we want to support Miss Renee Whaley and get understanding of how she did that in 3 years, $75,000. And then she tackled her mortgage on her home and now owns her home scot free. Only thing she has to pay is her taxes every year. And
Yep.
she wants to help you. And now, don't let me speak for you, Miss Whaley, but she wants to help you figure out how to do that for yourself so you can truly be and live debt free.
Yes, ma'am. That's absolutely.
Go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
I was saying, yes, ma'am. That's absolutely right. Oftentimes, people think that being debt free is for a certain class of people, for a certain race of people, and I just want the world to know that living debt
Mm-mm,
free
mm,
is it. We can do it too. It's
yes.
not siloed to one group of people or one class of people. We too can live debt free.
Right, right, right. And that is something that we all need to know. We all need to hear is that not only it's not for a select group of individuals, it's for all of us. And I'm quite sure, and I will ask you this question. It took a certain amount of discipline. Would you say that it took some discipline from you in
Oh
order to
yes, absolutely, absolutely. I am not different in that there were things that I wanted along the way in the journey that I had to put off, but I had a goal in mind, and I tried, to stay laser focused on that goal. And I have to mention too, my husband, he was a great accountability partner in the process. So even though, sometimes I had to say, hey, we really need that? Or should we really go this route? He had to ask me the same question sometimes too. And so I know, like, sometimes we used to have these discussions about, he would say, well, we have the money, and I would be like, we don't have it because we still have the mortgage to pay. So,
right. So, but you had goals, and you made a key point there that in this journey, whether it's becoming debt free, mentally sound, whatever it is, we all need an accountability partner and
yes, ma'am.
somebody that is not afraid to say, "Hey, look at that. Is that a need or a want? You know what I'm saying? And is that necessary now based on where we're trying to go? So
Right.
we all need that. And so that's a very key point. So for those of you that are listening, we welcome you, welcome you, welcome you. We are speaking with Arthur. The first time author, Miss Renee Whaley, and she is telling us about her book and her journey of writing and publishing the book entitled A Journey to Financial Fortitude. And she's telling us so far how she became debt free in 3 years, eliminating $75,000 worth of debt in 3 years, and then tackling her mortgage, where now she's mortgage free. She owns her home free and clear. And then she went to school on top of that and did not have to pay a cent. And so, if that is something that interests you, you want to go ahead and go to Amazon right now and start looking up the book, A Journey to Financial Fortitude. And so, thank you for that tidbit. I really appreciate that. I know that saying that you could pay off $75,000 in 3 years. And I'm going to keep saying that throughout the night, just so you know. I'm encouraging myself right now. So you can pay off $75,000 in 3 years. The one thing you said is that it took discipline. And then, two, you had a support system. And
Mhm.
so those are imperative for anything that we're tackling in life, especially when $75,000 can seem insurmountable sometimes to some people. And
Right.
so you did that, but you had a backing who was your husband who held you accountable, and you did the same for him when there was things that he wanted to do, but you all had together, you had a bigger goal and a bigger picture.
Right.
So my next question is to you is, what inspired you to write the book?
That's a great question. And um, it's not like, I had this dream one day, oh, I need to write this book and get this message out. It was really my audience, my participants, when I would have speaking engagements,
Okay.
when I was done, they would always ask, do you have a book? And I would always have to say no. So I started talking to a few friends about it, that, these people, they keep asking me if I have a book, and I felt good about it because apparently I said something that they wanted to be able to go back to and
Right.
reference.
Right.
So that was the inspiration behind actually writing the book. Is, my audience, my participants, asking me, if I had a book. So when COVID hit, most of my friends that know me very well know that I'm a very busy person. I kind of stay on the go. I stay moving. And when COVID hit, I had to consult with God and say, what am I to do now that, I can't physically go to speaking engagements, on the weekends. I can't go to my son's, baseball game, or their soccer games. I can't do any of this stuff right now because of COVID. So what am I to do with myself while I sit in the house and have really, nothing to do? So that's how I said, oh, I can, now's the perfect time. I can sit down and I can pen this book. And so literally during the pandemic is when I sat down and I wrote the book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you say that, and I forgive me for the word very cavalier, but I think that COVID was intended to have a lot of us sit down and do the things that we needed to do. And the beautiful thing about it is when you said you consulted with God, okay, what do I do now? Because, by now I'll be all over the place. I may be in Europe or Spain somewhere, but now I can't do any of that. So, Lord, what is it that you'll have me do? And he said, the thing that the people have been asking you for, now it's time for you to create that, to give them what they've been asking for. And the beautiful thing about it is he's so intentional with everything. He already knew. He knew that when you were going on your speaking engagements, that people were going to be some nugget or gem they were going to pick up on and say, I need that. How can I get that again? And then he said, okay, now write the book so that now when you go to speak, you'll be able to have something to sell and another stream of income for yourself. And so you're a speaker. I'm taking it as well. I see your banner behind you that says Financial Fortitude LLC. So you're also a speaker.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. I do speak when requested for different groups. It may be, it varies. Sometimes it's a group of high school students, right? Because they want to hear about how do I go to college debt free. Sometimes it's a group of adults because, how can I live without debt? So it's a varying group of people that I generally do my speaking engagements for.
And I would probably be in both of those groups, just to say that. I mean, I'm no longer in college, but I wish I could go back and get my doctorate debt free. Go back and even finish my master's debt free. So I know I need the book then, so we can figure out how to do those things. Okay, so the next question I have for you is, who is your book for?
My book is for high school students all the way to those in their late adulthood. High school students, because like I just mentioned, it's a great time for them to start thinking about, they're kind of in that mindset of going to college. How can you do this and not break the bank, not, go into debt, because especially since you've seen your parents do it, right? A lot of people, I'm 45 and a lot of my peers are still paying student loan debt. I graduated in 1998 from the University of South Carolina, and they are still paying off debts. I mean, I know I have clients that have been paying for 40 years student loan debt. And so it's important for the younger kids to hear that message and to understand that they can get scholarships too to pay off this debt. When I say late, all the way up to late adulthood, money is just a thing, right? We got to have it. We're going to exchange it. It's a means of exchange. We're going to have it. So we're going to all encounter that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important for everybody to know all the way to late adulthood, because you know what? One day, I want to retire. I don't want to work for the rest of my life. So I want to retire. I know there's other people out there that want to retire. And this book walks you through that as well, getting yourself ready for your retirement. But it's hard to, retire and still have a mortgage. That was my number one goal. when I really started down this financial journey, is making sure
Okay.
that I didn't go into retirement with the mortgage.
Oh, that is a beautiful goal to have. And again, this is Miss Renee Whaley, and she is talking to us and sharing with us key aspects of her book, A Journey to Financial Fortitude, Freedom from Debt. For those of you just joining, and I'm just resetting because we have so many people that's joining in, and we welcome you. We welcome you. This is the Beyond the Book Media's The Business of Books. And Miss Whaley has shared with us how she's paid off $75,000 in debt in 3 years. Not in addition to that, she paid off her mortgage and she attended college for free with no debt, no financial aid, no anything. She just did what she had to do and graduated debt free. And right now, so many of you may have children that are preparing for college. You have children, or even you yourself may be in school. It will behoove you to go ahead when we get to that point. I'm going to drop it in the chat. Her book where you can go purchase it so that you too can get those steps that she took and implement them into your life so you too can live truly debt free and truly be free indeed. I really appreciate you sharing tonight, Miss Whaley. This has been good thus far. And so that was something else you said about the speaking engagements, and then people are saying, "Hey, do you have a book? And do you have a book? And do you have a book?" And you're like, "I don't have a book." But all along, did you ever stop and think, God is saying something to me right now? He's asking me to write this book, because that's how He does things. It becomes repeated. You hear it every. Somebody else asks you that, and somebody else say, "Are you an author? Do you speak?" You know those things, and you're like, "No." And they say,
Yes.
"Oh, okay."
Yes, and I absolutely believe that that was God speaking to me when I would get those questions repeatedly
Mhm.
about, did I have a book? And I honestly was thinking, like, like I said, I'm very busy anyways. I don't know if I have the time to sit down and do this. But, as you stated, COVID came along and said, here you go. This is what you were asking for. Time. Now you have it. So that's what I did with the time that he gave me.
Gave us about 18 months of it. You should
Yeah.
have enough time to write this book and still be able to handle your speaking engagements via Zoom or different
Yeah.
platforms. But I need you to write this book in your spare time. So let me finagle your schedule, and so that I can get this book out of you, so that when I open the world back up and you go back out into the world, when they say, "Do you have a book?" They won't even have to ask, because as you're speaking, you'll say, "And you can purchase my book at the table to your right."
Right.
He's
Yes.
so good, isn't he?
Yes.
He is absolutely, he covers all bases. I love
Yes.
it.
Yes.
So what are the top three takeaways you would like your readers to take or walk away with after reading your book? What would you like for them to take away from your book?
I think the top three takeaways for me, one is you can do it. I know that sounds very cliche, but some people think that people that look like me can't do this, that this is a journey for somebody else, or that you have to have a certain amount of money in the bank to do this. And that's not true. So I've proven to myself and to others that this is something that we all can do. If you put your shoulder to the wheel, you can too do this. So that's one takeaway.
Okay.
Another takeaway is probably that you it it's I guess it's not what you see, it's what you don't see.
Okay.
Can be a takeaway, because we kind of look at our expenses and our we put all these numbers together and we think, oh, how am I going to do this? It's just like with you've heard, with people say you got to trim the fat, so it's not what you see, it's what you don't see. And I also want people to take away that you don't have to, win an inheritance, or get an inheritance. You don't have to win the lottery to be able to do this. And I mean, God knows, I mean, it'll be nice if I won the lottery. or if I had some huge inheritance, but I didn't. And God showed me I could do this without that. So you just need Him, Him behind you, and it's a journey worth taking, and a journey that you can go on and make sure at the end of the journey that you're free, financially free.
Wow, that was a mouthful. So let me go back to something that you said. You said it's not what you see, it's what you don't see. Tell me what that means.
Um, for example, when I meet with my clients, because everybody has a different story, everybody has different behaviors, everybody has different habits. So, um, one of the things that I do when I sit down with my clients, one of the first things we do after I get them to fill out some information for me is we reveal that most of the time, they have the money to get out of debt. They just didn't realize that they had it because they had grown so accustomed to doing other things with their money. So if they could, muster the discipline and the fortitude to maybe put some things off for a while, or do things a little bit differently, then they'll see that it's there. So it's not what you see. It's what you don't see.
See, I got that the very first time you said it, but I knew that there was a way that you were going to break that down so that all at the table will understand what you were saying. It's about what you choose sometimes and
Yeah.
what you don't choose. And so that is a task within itself, having people to see that, hey, you could pay the debt off. It's just a matter of, do you want to pay the debt or do you want the Gucci bag? You
Right.
know, you know,
Exactly.
can you just drive your car that may have 70, 80,000 miles instead of getting a new one? Because, can you just
Mhm.
drive it till the wheels fall off? And then it becomes a necessity because you got to get here and there. Then
Right.
we talk about that. But until then, can you just drive what you have? It's
Right.
a simple thing. It's just all a matter of perspective. And just understanding that if we can change our mindset about things, we can change a lot of things about our lives. And so that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. I
Yeah.
love your takeaways.
And the thing is that car that you're eyeing that you want to have, um, being debt free means that you can have it. It's just getting out of the debt first, and then just going and purchasing the car outright. Because you've now learned the discipline of saving for what you want instead of getting what you want right away.
Yeah, that instant gratification, that microwavable. That's what I call it, the microwave effect.
Yeah.
You want to press a button and like the Jetsons is just right there. Yeah, that thing. No, sometimes we need to wait on it because we'll appreciate it even more when we can work harder for it or work smarter, I should say, for
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us where we can find your book.
You can
Go
You
ahead.
can go to my website, which is financialfortitudellc.com. Again, that's financialfortitudellc.com. If you go to my website, it'll take you over. There's a link that'll take you over straight to Amazon to purchase the book.
Okay, you heard it first here. You can go to, I put it in the chat, financialfortitudellc.com. You can go there to purchase the book. Please go and support our sister. This queen is dropping some true gems in this book. She is telling us how to get on the journey to financial freedom and become truly free indeed, so we can stop quoting the scripture and really live the scripture. Be
Yes.
free indeed. He wants you to be free financially, mentally, spiritually, physically. He wants you to be free in all areas. So
Yes.
she wants to, Miss Renee Whaley wants to give us the tools needed so that we can live debt free and
Mhm.
we can teach our children and we can break generational curses of debt and being overwhelmed in life because we have so much debt on our shoulders. And that's just not financial, although that's what she's speaking of in particular. But I'm quite sure when you read through the book, you'll find some nuggets that'll help you in other areas as well. That's just the way the Lord works. So I just threw that nugget in for you.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
It's just the way he works. He may be talking about a specific thing, but he always is sure to give us a couple of extras that we can take away as well.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about your publishing journey. Let's talk about the writing first. So you said that your friend told you about Write With Me or the Beyond the Book Media. In your writing, what did you do when you had those moments of being stuck? And I asked that question because, again, we have a challenge coming up and people tend to get stuck and can't move past it. What was something that you did to move past that in your writing process?
Um, so I'm pretty disciplined by nature. It's just my personality. So writing the book, like I said, I just had the time. I would steal away, for a few hours on the weekends. I didn't have sorority meeting to go to. I didn't have to go physically anyways. I didn't have, like I said, the kids' games to go to. I didn't have any of all those things that I still needed to do. So being able to steal away and just write was really just kind of how I got through it and how I pushed through it. And then when I wrote my what I call my very first manuscript, I actually had my son Judah. He's an avid reader. When he was in fourth grade, he read the entire series of Harry Potter. So, I mean, like, that's what I mean. He's like very much an avid reader. So I had him to read it for me. And I also had my husband, Norman, to read it for me. And they both came back with feedback. And so that helped me to understand that I had support on this journey, and also that they were interested in my book, even though, they know my story for the most part. I mean, some bits and pieces, maybe Judah didn't know, but my husband pretty much knew because he was there from the beginning through most of it. I mean, we even went to elementary school and middle school and high school together and all that. Yeah. So we're high school sweethearts. So he was there through it. Also, just seeing that my family was engaged kept me going, because I knew now that they wanted to see this happen as well. So that was what helped me and motivated me throughout the process.
Yes. And if you're just joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the business of books. I'm sorry, the business of books on the Beyond the Book Media Facebook page and also YouTube page. We are here engaging and learning from our sister, Miss Renee Whaley, who is talking to us about her book, A Journey to Financial Fortitude. And she's given us a lot of gems and nuggets. If you've missed any part, feel free after this is broadcast. And when we're done, go back and please put hashtag replay so that we know that you are part of the replay ministry. And so you had to go back and get it from the beginning. But we appreciate your time and appreciate you jumping on to listen and gain some insight as to what it took to write her book. And what I keep hearing Miss Whaley say is that she had that support team behind her, be it her husband, her sons, and she felt confident that if it captured their attention and if they were pleased with it, then others would be also. Is that correct to say, Miss Whaley? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's what I took from what you just said.
Yep, you're spot on.
Okay. And so the publishing journey, that's when you become a part of the Beyond the Book Media family. Let's talk about that. What was that experience like? Your girlfriend or your friend told you about the Beyond the Book Media family. You reach out, you get connected. What was the journey, the publishing journey like?
So that for me, it was a great journey. I felt like it was a challenging one because as one professor told me, in college, he used to call me the perfectionist, right? You have to always get it right. You can't have errors. Just turn it in. And I'm like, no, I have another question. And my family knows too. I ask lots of questions. But that in particular was somewhat of a challenge for me because I always felt like I wanted to keep changing something. So the structure that Beyond the Book Media has was very helpful for me because it's like, okay, you get these 3 edits and you get this, and then we're going to move on to this phase. So we got to keep this ball rolling. So that helped me because I'm like, okay, yeah, I got to keep moving. Maybe I won't get it in. And then I think, and I was on one of the family calls that Beyond the Book Media has, and I heard somebody say that even like 10 years later after their book was published, they still read it and find something wrong that they want to change. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to have to get it out there as long as people get the meat of it and the impact and the message that I'm trying to convey. So that's what made the process challenging for me. There was, because I'm brand new at this, I wasn't ready for all the back and forth, even just designing the cover, I put my picture on the left, put it on the right, put the title up here. You can put it on this side, all of that was something that I guess I hadn't really thought through. So for me, that's what kind of made it a challenge and process for me, just because of me and my personality and how I just kind of want everything to be right and just move forward.
Understood. And so the perfectionist wanted to hold on to her baby and clothe her baby the way she wanted it. She wanted the swaddling blanket wrapped this way to the left, and they was like, it may look better on the right, and she's like, no, just put it on the left because it makes me feel good.
Right. And one other thing that was really kind of funny now, and like I always thought that I was a great writer, and so after I don't know, one of my sorority sisters, Terry Bailey, she was the first person that I entrusted with my manuscript, besides my husband and my son, to look over it. And there was so many like grammatical errors in there that I had never, like I'm thinking, wow, I thought I was pretty good at this, but she kind of like made me realize that maybe not. And then, even after because I remember when we were going through the process and she was looking at, we were going through it, and every page she would tell me, change this or move this or do that. When we got to one page, there were no errors, and she says, you can skip that page. And I was like, really? Like, there's no errors on this page? But after all of that, when I finally put it in front of Beyond the Book Media with the 3 edits, there was still something each time that I needed to adjust or correct. And I really, really appreciate Beyond the Book Media for that. And that's what I needed. That's what I wanted. I wanted to put out a solid piece of work, an authentic piece of work, talking about me, myself, my journey. And I think Beyond the Book Media helped bring that to fruition.
Well, that is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I can just imagine that tug of war you were having as a self-proclaimed perfectionist.
Yeah. Right.
Who just wants to get it right the first time, and I think we see this a lot as being a part of the Beyond the Book Media team. We see a lot where sometimes it's just like your kid, like Judah or Jonah when they were born. It's just my baby, and
yes.
Sometimes it's hard to relinquish that. But once you do, tell us about what you feel about it now that it has been published, and now that you can say, I am a speaker, I am a coach, I am an author. How does that feel? How does it feel to hear somebody say the author, Miss Renee Whaley?
It feels great. It's actually surreal. I sent a copy to my mom, and she was like, I haven't read it yet. She said, but just looking at the cover, it's just really nice.
Oh, wow.
And I was thinking, yeah, she's talking about me. Like, that's my picture that she's looking at and saying, like, that's really nice. So wow. It's still, I think I'm still trying to absorb it. It like I said, it's just surreal. I have so many supporting me still now, through this. My sorority sisters and my family, they got me to the #1 new release status on Amazon on my
Well,
birthday.
let us celebrate you. #1 new release status.
Yes,
Amazon.
yes. So just seeing that and going online and looking at those numbers and then just seeing my face there, it's just a surreal feeling. But it's a great feeling. I like it. I'm trying to take it all in. Sometimes that's one of the harder things for me is to just,
Mhm.
you
Just
know,
be
yes, yes, right,
right. I know how that goes because it's hard for us sometimes to just bask in that moment and
yes,
celebrate that moment, especially if we are those individuals that are accustomed to controlling everything. This
yes,
has been an awesome, 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 awesome experience. Before we go, we want to let everybody know that they can find your book again at www.financialfortitudellc.com. It is in the chat. I'll drop it there again. But are there any products or services that you want to offer alongside your book for promoting purposes? Anything that we can tell individuals if they were to purchase tonight, if you're giving away something addition in addition to the book?
yeah. So if someone purchases tonight and I get an email from them that they purchase as a result of hearing me or seeing me here on Beyond the Book Media, the business of books. If they email me, tell me that they purchased the book there, show me that they purchased it, I will offer a free scholarship search to their scholar, their, it may be their child, maybe their friend's child or whomever, and that's a $75 value. So I will offer that for them.
Wow, that is beautiful. See, coming on to the business of books on Tuesdays at 9, you get free things. You get a signed copy of different things. Sometimes you get now you're getting a scholarship worth $75,000, where she's going to help your scholar find free scholarships and money so that when they go to college, you don't have to come out of your pocket and we don't have to get loans. And that's invaluable in this day and age right now. And so we want to say thank you to Miss Whaley for that. That is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, just as a recap, I told you I was going to say it many times before we got off this live. I'm saying it for myself, okay? So just roll with me. Renee Whaley, for all of our viewers, all our family, our cousins that came from Clubhouse, our family over here on Facebook, she was able to pay off $75,000 in debt in 3 years. You do the math. That's like $25,000 a year, if my math serves me correctly. She paid that off, having a family, working, all the other things that we make excuses, needing to eat, needing a roof over her head, all of those things. But she paid off. She and her husband, let me give this king his credit as well.
Yes,
She and
please
her
do.
husband, she wrote the book about it, but he was there. And
Right.
so she and her husband and their family as a unit paid off $75,000 in debt in 3 years. After tackling $75,000 in debt, they then paid off their mortgage on their home where they owe no man truly nothing but love. It's in
Right.
the book. And so then she says, when I say I'm free indeed, she's truly free indeed. She owes nobody anything. Oh, I forgot to mention. Then she gets scholarships and goes to school, college that is, without owing a dime when she finished. You feel free to put all the hand claps in the chat that you would like. I don't mind. Put them all down there so we can see it. See, Miss Ashley know the business. She said, "This is right on time." Then guess what she said? So she gonna be one to give a $75 free scholarship search to for somebody in her family or her. She said, I need this book. And I'm telling all of you that are viewing this right now, you need this book. This is a type of book that you pass down for generations to come. This is how you break generational curses. This is how you go down and break those bloodline curses of poverty mindset. This is how you go and break those bloodline curses of being having lack and never having anything and always owing somebody,
Yes.
be it Uncle Sam, whomever, always owing. This is how you handle that, and you do it in a short amount of time. But if you missed it because you just joined us, she started off by saying both she and her husband sought God first. He gave them the strategy. He told them this is how you do this thing. He said, okay, we can do it, but it's going to require some sacrifice and discipline. That's what Miss Renee gave us. She said, you have to be disciplined. You have to set the goal. You need a support system. You need your husband, your wife, your children, whomever it is that's a part of your team, your circle of influence. I love Stephen Covey. So you said Mr. Ramsey, so I thought I'd throw Stephen off in there. But your circle of influence, those individuals that'll say, I don't think we really need that right now. That look good on you. That's a pretty color. That dress will be fly, but it's going to be even flyer when you don't have to use a credit card to get it.
Yes.
Or when you're not debating if you should get the dress or some bread. That's when it's really fly. That's when you're going to rock this dress, right? Right. And so something else Stephen Covey says that I love, in addition to what she shared from Mr. Ramsey, is that he said, begin with the end in mind. So set the goal.
Yep.
Know what the goal is. And then begin there, knowing that there is something on the other end. When she started writing her book, she knew that there was a need because people were already asking. She forged out time throughout the day. She said, I would just pull away, get 2 or 3 hours in, and right here, right there. Take the time for herself to do what she knew she needed to do because there was a next. Would you agree with that, Miss Renee?
Totally agree.
She did what she had to do because there is a next for her family. We're going to be debt free, but we're not going to do it for ourselves because we're blessed to be blessed. And so we're going to tell somebody else how to do it because we want every man that look like us, that live like us, to know that they can too.
Yes.
That's something that Miss Renee said. These are not my words. She said, I want to make sure that people understand. One of her nuggets was us understanding that even though we don't look like the status quo, we too can be debt free.
Yes.
So yes, go out there and support this book. Go ahead and purchase it. Her family has made her new bestseller on Amazon. Come on, family, and help her to stay on the top of the list. Let's make her New York Times bestseller. Let's get her on Good Morning America to talk about her strategy. Let's do all the things we do for all the others. Let's do it for this queen. Miss Renee, is there any final words that you'd like to share with our audience? And audience, if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. All you have to do for us to see them on this end is go to StreamYard.com and allow StreamYard to access your Facebook comments. And that way we can see your comments on this end and she can answer as many questions as she can. We have about 10 more minutes left. But until we get a question, is there anything you wanted to add, Miss Renee?
I would just like to tell those that are listening just to believe in yourself, that to believe that you can do this. People hear me all the time talk about this, preach about this, but somewhere tucked down within, they're like, that's not for me. I probably can't do that. And I want them to know that they can. If I grew up in a area that's very much low income, most everybody that lived around me was financially bound. They too can do it. You know, my boys will never probably experience living in an apartment as a family, because I was able to believe in myself. My husband was able to believe in us. So I just want to really get that message across, that to believe that you can do it. People are sitting here thinking the remaining the remainder of my mortgage. I still got $300,000 to pay on my mortgage. Some more, some less. Her story is not my story. I can't do that. You absolutely can. You absolutely can if you have a strategy. So that's really the biggest message I think I want to drive home, because sometimes I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall, when I'm talking to people, or they really hear me when I'm talking about paying off credit cards or paying off other things. But when I get to that mortgage part, they're like, oh, that part's not for me. And it is. And it is. And I believe that you can do it. And I think that if I believe you can do it, I think you can do it. Like I said, I didn't have an inheritance. I didn't win the lottery. But I had a strategy. We prayed about it, and we did it. And I know it's like cliche to say it's that simple, but it really is that simple.
So we have a question from Miss Karen. She said, "Did you get to travel and still do fun things while becoming debt free?"
I did. I did still get to travel, still got to do fun things, but that's not going to be everybody's story. It depends on where you are. There were times when we couldn't travel because we had prioritized our debt over that. But when we did travel, we generally had a plan. We put a plan together. We put a strategy together,
Right.
and said, okay, it's January. By next January, we should be able to take a trip. So we saved along the way so that we wouldn't further ourselves into even more debt.
Wow. That is very good. That's a very good nugget. So yes, she was able to travel and do some good things and some fun things. What probably happens there, and I don't want to speak out of turn, Miss Whaley, but what I think is sometimes we have to decide and get creative with our fun things,
Mm-hmm.
and know that all fun things don't have to cost.
Right. And I mean, I live in the Metro Atlanta area. Most people know that. I can remember us doing when the boys had fall break, and we were like, "Where are we going to go? We don't want to spend a whole lot of money." We rented a hotel downtown Atlanta. I
Yeah.
mean, we didn't have to like gas up the car to go down there. We didn't have to, um, pay airline tickets to get there. We parked our car at the MARTA station, and we had our bags, and it was like we still felt like we were going on a trip. And the boys really enjoyed it. They
Yeah.
even told us that they finally had that opportunity to go to Centennial Park.
Centennial Park. I knew you were
Yeah,
gonna say that. All of the kids like, yes, the
yeah,
water.
yeah. We went to Centennial Park. We went to World of Coca-Cola. I mean, there's a lot to enjoy here in the city. So just, we did things like that. So we always, did something. And even when we wanted to go out of town, we would think of closer places to maybe travel to, like Tennessee, or something like that, and where the boys could still enjoy that as well.
Wow. And it's all a mindset. It's something that Miss Renee Whaley has told us, spoken to us all night. It's about a mindset and shifting your mind to believe that you can be debt free and that you can still live. Live debt free is what she said. So you still need to know how to live and just not owe everybody and feel like you're overwhelmed. And I think the purpose of this beautiful chat tonight was to really give us an understanding that we don't have to be struggling every single day.
Mm.
Struggle is not my portion. Let me just go on and say that is not my portion. So I'm not carrying extra baggages around just on GP. And
Right.
but I will get your book because I still feel that there are strategies inside your book that may even go beyond just being financially debt free, but how to be debt free mentally and spiritually and physically, because those things bog you down. You become stressed, that which causes all kind of other things. And so Miss Whaley has done a service to the community with sharing the values and things she's learned on her journey to financial fortitude. And I am one to say thank you because you did not keep it to yourself. You and your husband both counted it not robbery to share it with us. And so we thank you for it. We salute you as a new author. We salute you as Amazon new bestseller. And we know that you're going to go even higher than that. We're looking for you to be on the New York Sellers bestseller book or list or whatever the name of them things called. You know what they're called because you're an author. So go ahead. We're looking for you to be on those book lists, just like we hyped up the Miss Omen or whatever her name is, Orman, Susie
Yeah.
Orman. Yeah,
Yes.
her. And just like we did Mr. Ramsey, we need to go ahead and do the same thing for Miss Whaley. Let's get her on the television shows. Let's give her some reviews. Let's let people know how much her book impacted us so that we can see the change in our communities. And I'm speaking because I'm from the ATL and I'm in the ATL, so I want to impact my community, but I
Right.
want to also impact communities in the whole world so that they can see people that look like us can live debt free. And so, Miss Whaley, from the Beyond the Book Media family, Chanel E. Martin, who is our visionary, Jacinta, who is over publishing, and all of the team, we want to say thank you for your time on KBN and your time here tonight with us. We are really excited about your journey. We know that you'll go far. Thank you for not giving us the opportunity. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share in your story and to share your story with the world. And we wish you nothing but the best moving forward. God bless and God keep you. Thank you so, so very much. Who is this? Miss Karen said this was very inspiring, and I'm sure you'll hear that from now moving forward. So congratulations and thank you again for your time. Have a pleasant evening.
Thank you. I appreciate it.